There are some who will tell you that any use of credit cards is a gateway to an unhealthy relationship with debt and money. That every road to financial peace has a stop where you throw away your credit cards forever. I am not one of those people, so let's learn how to make the most of these things. Starting with the very basics, credit cards allow you to buy things based on credit, as opposed to a debit card, which just uses the money in a bank account to make purchases. What this means in practice is that when you buy something with a credit card, your card provider pays the seller immediately, then you owe that money to the card provider. It can then be paid off at any time up to a payment due date. This part becomes very important later. You can then make additional purchases up to a total borrowing limit set by that provider. If after a billing cycle you still owe something, the card provider will slap an interest payment on top of your balance. The calculation is a complicated mess based on your current APR, but bottom line, it's bad and you don't want it. What this means is that you should always pay your balance in full every cycle so this doesn't happen to you. Unlike checking and savings accounts, which any 18-year-old fresh out of high school can get, you have to qualify for credit cards. These are based on your income, credit score, and to a smaller extent, loyalty to a card provider. If you don't have any of these and you're just starting out, you might have to get a secured card, but I already talked about those in more detail in an earlier video. So wait, if you're gonna pay it off every month anyway, isn't this just having a debit card with extra steps? No, for two reasons. One, both using a credit card and keeping its balances low over time can boost your credit score, which helps you get better deals on car and home loans in the future. But it also opens the door for better credit cards and with them, credit card rewards, which is the second big benefit to using them over a debit card. There's a few different ways rewards can show up. Cashback is the most common. For each purchase you make, you get a small percentage of the ticket price back as rewards cash, which can then be used to shave down your bill at any time, or can be given to you as a check or bank deposit. If you're paying off your bill regularly and not incurring any interest, this essentially comes out to a percentage-based discount on every transaction with that card. Some cards have a blanket cashback on all purchases, some have cashback only on specific kinds of purchases, and there are others in the middle with a base cashback that increases for certain purchases. When you're not getting cash back, you're probably procuring points. Like with cashback, the ratio of points earned per dollar spent can differ based on the kinds of items you buy, but unlike with cashback, points cannot be directly redeemed for cash, at least not without losing most of their value. These points can then be exchanged for products from companies the card provider has a partnership with. These can be anything from consumer electronics to clothes to turtles. The most famous point system, though, is airline miles. These have nothing to do with the actual miles on a trip. They're just points by a different name that you can use for special travel expenses like airfare or hotels. When you take into account the dollar value of this stuff, airline miles actually give you the most value per dollar spent with the card compared to other point systems or even cash back, though the applications are understandably narrow and pretty useless if you're an American who wants to travel abroad during a pandemic. In addition to having these rewards as features of the account, many credit cards will also offer some opportunities to earn some extra points or cash back. Most often, these are sign-up bonuses that give you a big lump sum if you can spend a certain amount of money in your first few months of using the card. If you're a student, you might even find a credit card that'll give you bonus rewards points or cash back for getting high grades or graduating summa cum laude. You may also see periodic promotions where, for a limited time, spending more than a certain amount increases the rate at which you earn cash back or rewards points on your card. These are most common during the holiday season. One way to take advantage of these time-sensitive bonuses without actually spending more money is to strategically time your existing and anticipated expenses. Have a vacation in December, but the promotion is only for June and July? Good thing you can usually book flights and hotels 6 to 12 months in advance. Nearing the end of one of these promotional periods and trying to eke out a few extra bucks? Look into buying in bulk for your next grocery trip, so long as it makes sense with your budget and food storage situation. The downside to all of this is that credit cards will often have fees. From balance transfer and foreign transaction fees, which are standard, to annual fees of hundreds of dollars for the really wild ones with great rewards. When considering which card to get, weigh what fees there are against the rewards and determine if that card is a net positive for you. Credit cards do require some discipline to use, and if you don't stay on top of your bills or buy within your means, you can end up in a spiral of debt and interest. There is a reason that cutting up your credit cards is not terrible advice for some situations. Credit card purchases should replace cash or debit purchases, not add to them. Use reminders or a regular routine to make sure you pay your bill on time. Since you can pay them whenever going into the due date, go ahead and pay them several times a month. It actually helps your credit score by keeping your average balance low too. As long as you can use them well, credit cards can be a great financial resource. We learn the basics of how they work, qualification criteria, reward structures, and safe use of a credit card. As a Spider's wise uncle once said, with great power comes great responsibility. Now it's time for you to take that power and use it responsibly to improve your financial situation.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like on your way to your next adventure. I cover everything adulting from personal finance to civic engagement and beyond. If that's your jam, you can subscribe to the channel. If there's something you want me to cover next, drop a suggestion in the comments down below.